is happening, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Ty behind the camera, and sitting in front of us is the 2024 Chevy Equinox, and this one happens to be in the pretty cool RS trim. So we have a kind of sporty flair to the Equinox we are taking a look at today. Now, as far as options go, we have a couple of packages added onto this one for your viewing pleasure. We have the RS leather package as well as the safety and infotainment package, so some pretty cool added features to this particular one. We do have a nice metallic gray paint and jet black interior. So in this video, we're going to take a look at all the features this Equinox has to offer. Starting out on the exterior, we'll then make our way under the hood, detail the powertrain. We'll pop the trunk, see how much room we have back there, and then we'll get into the interior. We'll start off with the rear seats and make our way forwards to the front seats, get all of the details in between. And then at the end of the video, we're going to want to make sure to stay tuned because I'm going to strap this GoPro to my head and we are going to take this Equinox for a test drive. But first things first, let's take a look at the front with the headlamps. LED units for both the high and low beams, and you also have the daytime running lights up top. You can see that they look very nice, all illuminated. And if we move towards the bottom, we have parking sensors and lots of gloss black. So around the turn signal bulb, and then down here towards the bottom with the vents, and up here with the very nice grille. So lots of gloss black accents on the Equinox RS. You even have the nice RS badging right in the grille. And below the Chevy bow tie, we have the front camera. So we have 4 cameras all the way around this vehicle thanks to that safety and infotainment package. Now, one more thing I'd like to point out are the turn signals. So take a look at that. They look very nice, all illuminated, and they are separate from the headlamps, so you can see them just a little bit better. Taking a look at the side, we have some nice creases going towards the rear door, and a pretty cool looking hood too. So we have the hood that kind of drops down and some cool creases there as well. We have some very nice gray painted 18-inch alloy wheels for the Equinox, and the tires measure up at 235/50. We can see we have some more gloss black accents going around the windows, even on your roof rails, and gloss black even makes its way towards the badging. Now, underneath the mirror, we have another camera which aids in the 360 view. We also have the blind spot warning in the mirror, as well as the turn signal indicators. Smart key entry on both front door handles, so the little chrome button right there we'll use to lock and unlock. And as you can see, this car has a sticker price of $36,725. Making our way back, we have the capless fuel door on the driver's side. As you can see, you could just stick the nozzle right in. And I really like this kind of quarter window in the back here. Pretty cool design, and it's kind of flush with the bodywork too. Back here we have a nice spoiler with your shark fin antenna up top, third brake light and third wiper back here too. And matching with the LED theme up front, we have LEDs out back. So take a look at them, very nice, all illuminated just like up front. So we have LED brake lights, tail lights, and even the turn signals. A bit more gloss black back here with a little bit of accenting right there, and then we have some lighter accenting to kind of paint match the body on the lower trim. We have parking sensors back here. You also have your reversing camera right below the Chevy emblem, and also right below the Chevy emblem right there is the release for your trunk. We have a couple of badges on the passenger side, the all-wheel drive, and of course the RS badging. So for 2024, the Equinox has been pretty much unchanged, but it is worth noting that the price is also unchanged. So usually every year, you know, cars usually go up by a couple $100s, some cars by a couple thousands of dollars, but this one has stayed exactly the same. What do you guys think of the styling on the Equinox? Has it evolved nice? Let me know in the comments. So under the hood of the 2024 Equinox, we have the 1.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, and it's good for 175 horsepower and 203 pound-feet of torque. Now we can get it in either front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive regardless of trim level, so they give you the choice there in any trim level you want, and it will come hooked up to a 6-speed automatic transmission. Now the hood does open up with a prop, but it is a very nice lightweight aluminum hood, and everything seems to be very service friendly. So you have the oil dipstick right there and the oil filler right next to it. All right, so let's take a look at what lies underneath the powered trunk lid. Now it is powered as part of the RS trim level, which is pretty nice. So you don't have to add any options or anything extra to get the power tailgate. Once you have it open, you have a nice wide opening and lots of space. If you wanted to increase the space from back here, you even have a couple of handles. So if you pull the handle like that, the seats will fold down flat in a 60/40 fashion. So the carpeted floor mats back here, and if we open up the cargo floor, you can see we have some hidden storage, and underneah that floor is the spare tire. Now back here you have some tie downs for your cargo net, and also just some general cargo tie downs too. And to close the trunk, we have one simple button. So you just tap that and the trunk will close up for you. All right, so let's make our way into the interior of the Equinox, starting off out back. So the RS trim gives you some pretty nice red accents on the inside, and you can see that subtly on the door with the red stitching right on the door panel. But you have some nice soft cloth right here where you put your arm. You also have part of the RS leather package, 7-speaker Bose audio system in this car too, so that's pretty cool. We have lots of storage on the rear door, and again, thanks to the RS leather package, we have leather seats. Pretty nice headrests, again with the red stitching. You even get red stitching on the seats themselves and some piping too, so that's pretty neat. You also have the little handle right here to fold the seats down flat. That handle also doubles as a recliner, so you can actually recline the backrest of the seats too. That's pretty neat. And you can also fold down your rear armrests. I'll just hop in quick and see how much legroom we have back here. Now I am 5'10", and adjusting the seat in front of me to a normal and comfortable driving position, take a look at that. I have plenty of legroom back here. I'd say at least 3-4 inches. We also have climate vents, 2 USB chargers, and also a household outlet way down here. One more thing to point out is the floor back here is completely flat, so pretty nice. You can definitely fit a third person back here in a tight fit. Okay, here we are, the main event, the driver's cockpit. We'll first start out on the door up front here, just go over a couple of things. We have all of our window switches as well as our window lockout for the rear, all of your mirror adjustments, which by the way are heated and manual folding. We have our lock-unlock button right next to the nice chrome door handle. And we also have this button here to control your rear lift gate. So you just press in to open it, but then you also have a couple of different settings. You can open it a max way, a 3/4 way, or just turn the power function off. So that's pretty cool if you have a low garage ceiling. Some storage in the driver's door, and you also have the branded Bose speakers up front. On the left of the dash, we have some red accents and some trim work around the air vents. Just below we have our headlight controls and the gauge dimmer. Down here, of course, we have our pedals, and up top the hood release, and then you also have the release for the tilt and telescoping steering wheel. We have a full power driver's seat with the 2-way lumbar, and again more red accenting. So we have a pretty traditional Chevrolet key, but this one has some pretty cool buttons added to it. We have the unlock lock remote start, the trunk release, and the panic alarm. Then we also have this little chrome button at the side to release a physical key. But we do have push button start right behind the steering wheel, and it'll start right up. Let's take a look at this pretty nicely leather wrapped steering wheel with some red stitching. Now we also have the kind of dark chrome accents going around the buttons and also going around your climate events too, so you have some pretty cool accents in this vehicle. Kind of the blacked out bow tie too for the steering wheel. And over here we have all of our adaptive cruise control settings, and you can turn on and off your lane keep assist with that button right there. And right above it you have the heated steering wheel button. To the other side you can control your digital display in the center there. Then we also have voice commands and your Bluetooth phone controls. On the back of the steering wheel on this side we have little paddles, and those are for your up down for volume for the radio, and on the other side we can control your presets. So kind of moving the steering wheel out of the way, we have this stalk over here, which is not only for your turn signals, but also for your automatic high beams. So we have this button right here to toggle that on and off. And then on the other side, we have our front and rear wipers. Now a couple of different things we can go through with our gauges. Pretty traditional set of gauges with the tachometer over here, fuel gauge, and then coolant temperature, and your speedometer right over there. But again, using these buttons, you can get a little bit more information. So right now, we have the digital speed readout as well as the distance till empty. But if we scroll over, we can get some various trip informations, like you see there, instant and distance till empty. And then we have our oil life, tire pressures, various things of that nature. If we scroll over, we could see your what's going on with your audio, navigation, phone, and we also have a couple of settings that you can go through as well. So, pretty nice little screen there in the center of the gauge cluster. Now up here we have a nice soft to the touch dash, and then we also have a couple of speakers up there as well as your little alert system. So that's a couple of LED lights that'll kind of project on the windshield for your front collision warning. Now that brings me down to our center touchscreen. We do have the upgraded unit in this car, again thanks to that safety and infotainment package. So we have a nice 8-inch touchscreen, very nice high resolution, and we can kind of swipe over there to see our home screen, give you a combination of what's going on with the audio and your phone, and then we also have presets up top and then shortcuts down below. So just a quick look at the audio screen. You can see what's playing in the center and your sources over here. We have our phone, Wi-Fi hotspot, and then you can also set up different users for the vehicle. We have our settings over here, lots and lots of different settings that you can go through. We have our Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which by the way is also wireless thanks to that infotainment package. And then we can also swipe over to get your camera views, which we have a couple of different views that we can get thanks to the bird's eye view, or the kind of 360 view. So the top down right over here, and then we also have the front camera with our guidance lines. You can also toggle to the rear camera. We can also zoom in to the front and also zoom into the rear, which is pretty cool. We can get our front and rear wheels so you don't curb them. And then once we get to the rear view again, we have a kind of hitch view. So if you were to tow a small trailer with this vehicle, you can definitely hook it up pretty easy. And then we also have your regular guidance lines or your hitch hookup guidance lines. And then we can also toggle on and off your top-down view. So pretty nice camera system in this vehicle. Then we also have a couple of separate apps for the Sirius, OnStar services, and the My Chevrolet app. Right down below we have some shortcuts, including your volume knob right here. And just below that is your dual zone climate control. So we have the driver's temperature and also the passenger temperature right over here. Heated seats for both the front people, and then we also have your defrosters right here where you want the air to come out. Your recycling, turning on and off the entire climate control. Then you can also press the auto button to kind of get it to your desired temperature as fast as possible. And then you also have your fan speed and your AC settings right over there. So let me get the shifter out of the way so we can check out this little storage cubby. Down here, a little bit of storage, and if you add a package, you can also get the wireless charging. But down here we have a couple of different inlets. So we have the USB-C, a regular USB, auxiliary, SD card, and a 12-volt power outlet. So they definitely got your power covered for all of the power outlets. A couple of buttons up here to lock it into all-wheel drive all the time, and you can also turn on and off your parking sensors. Now here we have our shifter, again a 6-speed automatic, and we also have a little RS badge at the base of the shifter. But we have the reverse, which will pull up all of your cameras, neutral, drive, and then we also have a low mode. So say for instance you're on the highway, you're going up a pretty big hill, and this car is absolutely loaded to the brim with people and cargo. So we'll put it in the low mode, and then you can also shift your gears manually if you'd like, just to get a little bit of extra power out of the car. We also have electronic parking brake here too, and then a couple of cup holders, little storage tray here, and if you open up our nice center console, you'll also have another removable storage tray right here, and it is kind of long and skinny, so you can put pencils and pens, things like that. And there's 2 more USBs inside with a little LED light. Passenger area has a nice little design to look at with the combination of the leather, cloth, and some stitching. If you open up the glove box, we have a nice amount of space in there. We have a full black headliner for the RS trim, and if we fold down the visors, we can see we have a mirror and light in there. We also have a spot to put your sunglasses, some LED illumination up here, and all your OnStar and SOS controls. And to round everything off, we even have a manual day and night mode mirror. Now that's pretty much it for all the features on this Equinox. Let's get it out on the road and see how it drives. Alright, so we are just setting off here in the 2024 Equinox. Now, a little overview of the test drive. We're going to take it through the hilly section of town, so we'll see what it's like to drive up the hills and everything. And then we'll get it out onto a nice straight road. We'll get a little acceleration test. Please mind the rain. We have an impending storm, but I'm glad we got the exterior portion of the video done before the storm hit. So yeah, throughout the video we'll get a couple of things accomplished. I think we'll have a pretty good idea of what the Equinox is all about by the end of the video. We'll kind of get an acceleration test, and then towards the end of the video, you know, we'll get a suspension torture test, so we'll really get a good idea on what this Equinox is like to drive. We'll also get some driving clips in there, you know, at some higher speeds, you know, 45, 50, maybe 55 miles an hour, so you all know what it's like at those speeds. Now I can tell you my initial thoughts. I've driven many Equinoxes before, but this does seem to ride pretty nice, even though we have the larger set of wheels that you can get on an Equinox. So we will round this corner, we'll see if we have a break in traffic, and that's where we'll test out the acceleration. So what I really like to do is get the car up to 25 like we have it now, and just kind of mash the throttle and see what happens. So here we go. So the Equinox by no means is a powerhouse, but it does have adequate power for what you'd be looking to do with it. And that realistically is, you know, a commuter for around town, and maybe a little bit of highway driving in there too. So plenty of power for what you need it. And I wouldn't be surprised if we run into some hail, but this is some pretty heavy rain we got here. Okay, so it looks like the rain has subsided a bit, and we're going to take a nice tight turn onto our main road here. This is kind of like a two-lane highway, so we'll get a good feel for it up at some higher speeds. Now what we're really looking for here is how quiet is it, you know, how quiet are the tires, the engine, the wind noise up at higher speeds here. So let's see. Yeah, I mean, so now we're up at, you know, 45 miles an hour. It is pretty quiet in here. You know, you hear a slight bit of tire noise, obviously a little bit from the puddles in the road, but it is pretty quiet. You know, not a lot of wind noise at all. Just a little bit of humming from the tires. Now we do have the lane keeping assist active, and you can tell if it's active by first turning it on with this little switch right here, and yellow does mean it's active. Then you also have to look in the gauge cluster to see if the little lane keep assist icon is green. If it's green, it'll start picking up the lines and it will keep you centered in your lane. So if you start to drift out of your lane, that symbol will become yellow, just kind of like the color on the steering wheel here, and it will gently steer you back into your lane. Now if that little marker is white like it is now, it is not detecting the lanes for whatever reason. You know, there might be a break in the lanes, or you're going around a curve, something like that, and it's just not picking up the lanes, so it will not center you in that scenario. But as long as that's on and it's green, it will help you keep your lane. Okay, and the final portion of our video is going to be that suspension torture test that I talked about earlier, and this road is it. Now this is a pretty rough road, lots of manhole covers, lots of imperfections in the road, so we're going to try to hit all of it so we can get a good feel on the suspension, kind of in the worst case scenario. And yeah, so far the Equinox is doing pretty good. Nice solid ride, and pretty comfortable too, even though we have the larger wheels that are available on the Equinox. So yeah, pretty impressive ride, even over a really bumpy road. And I think that pretty much does it for the 2024 Equinox. I hope you have enjoyed this Equinox just as much as I have, and I also hope you stick with us here at Ty Drives for more videos just like this one.